Good morning.
Good morning.
What? Oh, it fell out. Thanks. We're experimenting with new amplification configurations. That wasn't one of them, though. Let's start over. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are, of course, gathering the day after a both mournful and joyful memorial service that happened yesterday. And the feelings in the sanctuary linger through the next day. And of course, this next day, we gather in a full circle of life and death as it goes, as we dedicate 13 children into the loving embrace of this faith and this faith community. And so on this glorious fall day, for which we are ever grateful, we say ever gratefully, welcome to All Souls, where all souls are welcome. You are joyfully, mindfully called to worship. We will join our voices in singing Sweet Honey in the Rock's beautiful song, We Are, the lyric of which is so perfect for this day. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. This is a gallop of a song. Adam has promised to move those lyric slides exactly as we need. So follow along with Catherine. The choir has rehearsed this, and we will love singing as we prepare to dedicate these beautiful children. I invite you to rise in body and or in spirit. Thank you. Beautiful. You did it so beautifully. Let's turn and welcome the folks in the online pews. We see you. If you're new there this morning, type that in the chat and we will welcome you. There are lots of family members here for the first time. Raise your hand if you're here for the first time. We're so happy to see you for this celebration. And otherwise, if there's anybody here, let us always remember to welcome the stranger as we go. Let us offer each other a greeting of peace at a time when peace is so deeply needed. Peace be with you. Let us make a joyful noise. Peace. Love you. Rock.
just got to make one call.
That's all right. That's okay. Hi, Sean. Welcome back. We haven't seen you. Welcome, welcome. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So, when hi Lee, my microphone is on. So there's a, hi Chris.
Hi, how are you? Hi, boss.
Hi.
Good morning.
That's Mike.
As we begin worship, we acknowledge, as we always do, the Nahantic and Mohegan people as the traditional caretakers of this land on which we worship. We honour and pay respect to the Nahantic and Mohegan ancestors and their lineage, who today uphold traditional practices, art and education. I would like to invite forward Rashid to light the chalice. You coming up? Thank you.
Hearts open, shocked awake, much learned from our mistakes, close in our heartache. Show us how to love.
Thank you for joining in these words. And today, as always, we light a candle of peace once more for Israel and Gaza. May there be peace. May it begin with us.
So, child dedication. I'm just going to go into the pulpit, Adam.
Okay.
But this is, we will hope it works in a moment. Hope it works in a moment. So a child dedication in Unitarian Universalist tradition is one in which we welcome not only the child, but the child's family into the embrace of this congregation, of this Unitarian Universalist congregation, and into the faith itself. You will hear through the course of this ritual the ways in which this particular welcome is offered to families and to children. And so at this point, I am going to invite all of the families and children up onto the chancel, and I'm going to ask you to leave a space to my right. So come on forward. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay. Fingers crossed. So let's all take a deep breath. So this morning, we dedicate and bless these children and these families, 14 children in all. We gather to begin a prayer for each of them that begins this morning, but then continues throughout the rest of their lives. Naming a child is a sacred act, and some names honor the ancestors, and others create a new identity within a family. And so I'm going to invite you to introduce your child to the congregation, and I will ask your family one by one to do so. And so, Barbara and Perry, upon this child's birth, what name did you choose?
Nora Molina.
Nora Molina. Lexi and Holke, upon this child's birth, what name did you choose? Rosalia Raparin. Shannon, upon this child's birth, what name did you choose? Sierra Sky. Cassandra and David, upon these children's birth, what names did you choose?
Jack Keats, Henry David.
Jack Keats, Henry David.
Franklin Delano.
Franklin Delano.
And Emerald Ophelia.
And Emerald Ophelia. They have a lot to live up to, this family, right? And Courtney, I see you back there. Upon his birth, what name did you give this child? William Allen. Abby and Travis, where are you? There you are over there. We see you, we see you. Upon this child's birth, what name did you give her?
Madeline Francesca.
Madeline Francesca. Beautiful. Catherine and Ken. Upon this child's birth, oh my God, what name did you choose for him?
Raymond Glenn.
Raymond Glenn. Carrie, what name did you and Brad give to these two beautiful children?
Scarlett May and Hazel June.
Scarlett May and Hazel June. So good. And Alex and Doug, upon their birth, what names did you give these children?
Elizabeth Rose and Jacqueline Ann.
Elizabeth Rose and Jacqueline Ann. We bless and honor each of these children and the place they hold within your family and this congregation. We honor their beauty and make way for their gifts, for your beauty and your gifts, all of you. Parents, this is for you. And godparents and family, all who are with you, feel free to respond. By your example, you will demonstrate the values that sustain your family. Your children need the blessing of love and hope, as you know. If you are willing to accept and sustain this sacred responsibility, please say, we will. We will. I'm going to call you forward family by family, and we will begin with Barbara and Perry. Come on up. Come here, Nora. Here, come stand right here. With water gathered at our communion that you were at, remember? We will bless your mind and your hands and your heart. May you be guided by the Spirit which is beyond and among and within all of us, so that we may create with you justice, love, and peace. May the congregation say amen. Amen. There you go, sweet pea. Lexi and Holke, come on over. What? Yeah, she's here too. Yes, godparents too. This is Lexi's sister and her partner. And so Rosalia, with water gathered at our water communion, water that touches every shore and nourishes all people, we bless your hands, we bless your mind, and we bless your heart. May you be guided by the Spirit which is beyond, within, and among us, creating love and justice and peace. And may the congregation say amen. Amen. There you go, Rosalia. Bless you. Yeah, no, come sit over here. Just come sit over here. All right, I'm going to invite Shannon forward now. Come on over. Thank you. Come on over, Sierra. Good to see you. And with this water that we have gathered from our water communion, I bless your mind and your hands and your heart, so that may we be reminded that we are guided by the Spirit which is beyond, within, and among all of us, creating love and justice and peace. That is for you. Welcome. May the congregation say amen. Amen. I'd like to call now Alex. Doug's not here today. Okay.
He was getting his flu vaccine.
Oh boy, all right. All right, we're going to bless both of you at the same time. Okay? Okay. So we are dipping this rose into the water that we gathered up as a congregation at the water communion. water that nourishes all people. And so I bless your minds and your hearts and your hands, so that we may be reminded that the Spirit that is among and within and beyond all of us helps us to create love and justice and peace. Okay. Okay. Here, that's for you. Take the rose. There you go, Jackie. Jackie, take the rose. That's for you. Here, your sister will hold both for you. May the congregation say amen. Amen. Cassandra and David, bring that crew forward. Come on over.
Right?
Hey, Franklin. I'm going to dip all of these. Franklin, this is water that we gathered all together. You were part of that. And with this water and with this flower, I bless your mind, your heart, your hands, so that you may be reminded of the Spirit that is within and beyond all of us to create peace and love and justice.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. And the same for you, Henry. I bless your mind and your heart and your hands. There you go. Stay right here. Jack, we bless your mind and your heart and your hands. There you go. And Emerald, we bless your mind and your heart and your hands, so that we may be reminded of the Spirit that is within and beyond and among all of us, creating love and justice and peace. May the congregation give a big amen. 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 There you go. All right. Courtney, come on up. Hi, Liam. It's good to see you. It's been a long time. Hold on. With this flower, we are blessing your mind and your heart and your hands, so that you may be reminded and remember that there is good spirit within and among and beyond all of us, creating justice, love, and peace. Here's for you, Liam. May the congregation say amen. Amen. I forgot to say that we bless our children with a closed rose, symbolizing life just beginning to unfold and not yet there. We take all of the thorns off of the rose to symbolize our protection and care of the child. And when they bridge, we leave the thorns on. So, okay, who do we have next? Abby and Travis, come on up. There we go. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Maddie. We bless you and your mind, your heart, and your hands, so that you may be reminded of the Spirit that is within and among and beyond all of us, creating love and peace and justice. This is for you.
Maddie, you want the flower?
You want the flower? Maybe Mommy will hold it for you. There you go. And may the congregation say amen. 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 And who do I have? Carrie. Yeah, Scarlett and Hazel. Come on up. Scarlett and Hazel. Hi, Scarlett. Hi, Hazel. And so, with these two flowers, we bless each of you. Your mind, your heart, and your hands. Here you go, Hazel. And Scarlett, your mind, your heart, and your hands, so that you may be reminded once again of the Spirit that is within, among, and beyond all of us, creating love and justice and peace. May the congregation say amen. Amen. I think that's everybody, right? Who's next? Oh, for goodness sake, come on over. I thought, yeah, come on over. Come over here, Raymond. It's nice to see you in person. We see Raymond on Zoom every Tuesday morning. It's nice to see you in person, Raymond. We bless you with this water, gathered from our water communion on a day your mother conducted beautiful music. And so we bless your mind and your heart and your hands, so that you and your family may be reminded of the Spirit that is within and among and beyond us all, creating love and peace and justice. May the congregation say, amen. Amen, amen. All right. I am going to invite all here to rise in body and spirit, and Reverend Katrina is going to lead us in a blessing, a congregational blessing for these families and children. Here we go. No one's going anywhere. First. Yeah, first the blessing, and then people will leave. Katrina.
It is our faith that each child born is one more Redeemer, within whom there is a divine spark.
By the service of creation, we commit ourselves to the nurture of that divine spark and each of these children.
Are you ready to dedicate yourselves to Elizabeth, Jacqueline, Emerald, Franklin, Henry, Jack, Madeline, Nora, Raymond, Rosalia, Sierra, Scarlett, and Hazel?
And Liam. We are prepared. We dedicate our minds and hearts to these children and to their parents.
Will you strive to love and cherish them in times of struggle as well as gladness?
We will love and cherish them always. May we be worthy guardians of these young lives. May we build a community in which they will grow surrounded by beauty, embraced by love, and cradled in the arms of peace. Amen. Amen.
And now, children and youth, if you would follow Perry, and families, you can return to your seats, and we will sing the children out with Trees in the Field. The reading this morning is from the introduction of We're All in This Together, so make some room, by Tom Papa. I still get the old-timey newspaper delivered. Every morning I walk out, wave to my neighbours, pick up the paper and proudly bring it inside. But lately, I've just been tossing it in a pile with the other unopened newspapers. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood for a scary movie. When I'm in this state, it's comforting to slow down and look to the past in order to realize that I'm not alone. We belong to something greater, an ongoing story that has been written throughout time and has now been handed off to us. Whether we like it or not, we're all in this together. No single person made the world we live in. There wasn't one person who invented the computer, the styrofoam cooler, or that elastic band that holds your underwear up. Zillions of little decisions made by millions of little minds have unknowingly worked together to create this complex and fantastic world. Thankfully, people have been succeeding and screwing up for centuries, leaving us an ancient treasure map full of experiences, directions, and clues that can help guide us along. If we can just pay attention and avoid the quicksand, we'll be okay. The current disconnect and discontentment that many people are feeling out there are very real, causing full-grown adults to lash out in the aisles of Target like toddlers who are overwhelmed by the world around them. As institutions change, human rights are challenged or taken away, and digital isolation cuts us off from one another, we need to find new ways to connect. We truly need one another, and we all have our part to play. Amen. Here ends the reading.
Come on up, choir.
Hearts open, minds awake, change us now, for heaven's sake, leave us not alone in hatred's wake. Show us how to love. Show us how to love. Show us how. Show us how
Thank you to the choir. I love that anthem. Hearts open, shocked, awake, much to learn from our mistakes. Draw us close in our heartache and show us how to love. What a perfect anthem for this moment. I'm not sure there's any moment that isn't perfect for those words, show us how to love. You may wonder who exactly the who is showing us how to love is. My take is that who is you and me. Every single one of you is the who is showing me and everyone you meet how to love. We're all in this together, as Papa says. We're all in this together. Let's say that together. We're all in this together. Type it in the chat. Those of you in the online pews, we are all in this together. Goes the song. When the world is sick, can no one be well? But I dreamt we were all beautiful and strong. When the world is sick, can no one be well? But I dreamt we were all beautiful and strong. Hear Mother Teresa, who said, "What can you do to promote world peace? Go home and love your family." Let's broaden that just a bit. Go to school and love your classmates, your students. Go to the Stop and Shop and love the guys in the produce department, because I do. The cashier, the ladies in the bakery who, if you will ask, will slice your loaf of bread. Walk down State Street and cast your blessing on the man in the throes of addiction. Love your sister who voted differently than you did in the last presidential election. Come to church every Sunday, because it is spiritual exercise that your heart muscles so desperately need right now. Come to church and love your fellow souls and feel their love come back to you. Even the souls who ever so rarely you find ever so annoying. Even your minister. Bless our hearts. We are so exhausted. We are so exhausted with outrage and frustration and worry and sorrow and fear and anxiety. What to do? What can we do? What can we possibly do? There is nothing more powerful, no better response, and you all know what I'm going to say. What am I going to say? Love. And I know that you know that. I'm just here to remind you. And laughter too. In all the screaming of the past few weeks especially, in all the reading I've been doing, the comedians and poets and musicians are the ones pulling me toward hope. And Tom Papa is one of them. Who here has, like Tom Papa, tossed their newspaper onto the pile-up because you are just not in the mood for a scary movie? Perhaps then you remember to slow down and glance backwards at humankind's past, to then remember that you are not alone. As he said, we belong to something greater, as we just said to the children who we dedicated, something bigger, beyond, within all of us. We belong to something greater, an ongoing story that has been written throughout time and has now been handed off to us. Whether we like it or not, we are all in this together.
We're all in this together. It is classic universalist theology, after all. We are all in this connected through the interdependent web of which we are all a part. So says our seventh principle. When the world is sick, can no one be well? We are connected to an ongoing story that has been written throughout time and has been handed off to all of us. We are all a bundle of stories, and as such, we are the stewards of the story we are now creating together. Where will our story go from here? Where will we go from here? Chaos or community? Said Reverend Dr. King famously. It feels like we're living in chaos right now. How do we create and sustain beloved community in this moment? Mother Teresa said, go home and love your family. Step out into the world and love wholeheartedly, open-heartedly. That said, maybe being open-hearted needs some additional leavening for the love to rise. David Brooks, that may be an interesting segue for all of you, but David Brooks is known for being a conservative-leaning columnist for the New York Times. So maybe you've also seen him on the PBS NewsHour. He has a new book titled How to Know a Person: The Art of Seeing Each Other's Deeply and Being Deeply Seen. Last month, he wrote about this idea in his New York Times column. He wrote, being open-hearted is a prerequisite for being a full, kind, and wise human being. But it is not enough. People need social skills, Brooks said. The real process of, say, building a friendship, he continues, or creating a community involves performing a series of small, concrete actions well, being curious about other people, disagreeing without poisoning relationships, revealing vulnerability at an appropriate pace. I love that. Being a good listener, knowing how to ask for and offer forgiveness, knowing how to host a gathering where everyone feels embraced, or how to host worship on Sunday morning, knowing how to see things from another person's point of view. It's the end of the quote. In his column, Brooks quotes a psychiatrist who says that attention is a moral act. Isn't that beautiful? Attention is a moral act. He himself, Brooks, says that he's come to think of offering attention as a moral practice, that when we adopt a posture of humility, we're honoring the person in whose presence we stand. He has a whole list of ways we may be practitioners of the art of truly seeing our fellow human beings, and I'm going to share just one. On the face of it, it is so simple, but aren't we all surprised sometimes when we've spent a decent amount of time with someone who didn't ask us a single question? There is perhaps nothing that renders us more invisible than not being asked anything about our lives, or what we've been thinking about, or how's your mother, or what are you reading or watching, or what did you think about the sermon today? We just dedicated 14 children into the loving embrace of this faith community, acknowledging the divine spark within each of them. And what snuffs out that spark more powerfully than rendering them invisible, than showing no curiosity toward another human being? Ask someone you love,
or a complete stranger, ask them a question. Ask them a few. Signal to them that they are not invisible. Even the most irascible teenager you teach or coach or perhaps live with, or perhaps serve as their minister, for example. It so happens that I am going to the coffee house after the service with our beloved youth, and you bet I'm going to ask them dozens of questions. Questions about their lives, and they will balk and squirm and maybe not say much, but I'm going to pile up the love, and it is going to come through those questions. And they're going to know, and maybe not welcome entirely, that I, and through me, all of you care about them. In 10 years, they'll remember this coffee and appreciate it. If not today. Right, Jessica? Because connection is what we need in order to pull ourselves and others out of our post-pandemic isolating ways. I'll tell you a story. As most of you know, there is an effort afoot to start an interfaith coalition that will work together to effect systemic change on a range of issues that members themselves, all of you, will determine. The success of any such effort rests on relationship building. And so toward that end, at the conclusion of every meeting that the clergy have had, a hat is passed around with our names in that hat. We each pick out 2 names and we make a commitment to get together with that person before the next time we meet. And so this past week, I had breakfast with Father Mark O'Connell, who serves, God bless him, St. Joe's, St. Mary's, St. Paul's, and whatever Saint church is on Fisher's Island. I meant to look that up before this moment. All right? Forgot.
Carolyn, it's Our Lady of Grace.
Our Lady of Grace, says Grace. Thank you. Thank you. Our Lady of Grace. Thank you. It took Mark and I, Father Mark and I, about a dozen text messages to find a time when he could break away. But we did it. And it was wonderful. I love that man. We've served together on the same block for many, many years. It was the longest length of time I have ever spent with him. Inspired by all the good that's come of these connections, 2 of my colleagues, Steve Youngkite, who serves the Congregational Church in Old Lyme, and Heidi Johnston, who serves the Lutheran Church in Gales Ferry, they invited their congregations to do the same, to throw their names in a basket and then commit to meeting the person whose name they pull. We're going to follow suit in a few weeks. But for now and today, inspired by a dance performance of such shattering beauty that I saw last night, David Dorfman dance at Connecticut College. Were you there, Sean? You were there. Stunning, right? Stunning. You have to agree with me. I totally put you on the spot. You poor thing. It was so. My friends Jeannie and Joanne are here. They will testify. Absolutely beautiful. At the end, David Dorfman, who is the loveliest of men, came out onto the stage and spoke to the audience so beautifully about his process. He thanked the dancers, his collaborators, the college. He's such a lovely soul. And he talked about love and art and seeing each other. And he invited everyone in the audience to turn to somebody who they hadn't come to the performance with, to look at them and say, I see you. So I'm going to invite you right now, scary as that may be, to turn to someone who you'd not come with today and say very simply now, I see you. Go ahead, do it. And I see you. And Reverend Katrina sees you. We see each other, even when we are scared to connect, as we are now. Scared we're going to say the wrong thing to our Jewish loved ones. Scared we're going to say the wrong thing to our Muslim loved ones. Scared to misgender our newly transitioning friends. Scared we're using the wrong pronouns, scared. But as Papa reminds us, thankfully, people have been succeeding and screwing up for centuries. We just have to avoid the quicksand. To be clear, not everyone is going to be okay. We live in a pretty deep wasteland right now, and too many lives have already been lost and traumatized for no good reason whatsoever. But we cannot despair. We cannot despair. We cannot surrender our creative energies to a vortex of fear and rage. We cannot become that grown-up human lashing out in the Target aisle like an overwhelmed toddler. Draw close in our shared heartache. Let's show each other and the world how to love. For the sake of these 14 children that we embraced in the arms of peace, let us show them and each other how to love. Amen. And blessed be. We're not going to have a moment of silence because we're running late. So just imagine it for a moment. We're going to move right into our offering. Let's say these words together. We give to the work of all souls. Our work weaves the fabric of love called community. To this end, we dedicate ourselves and this our offering. The offering will be gratefully received. Oh, this too, yes. Take this moment, thank you. Take this moment you received when you walked in. What are you thankful for? We're going to be creating the litany as we do every year in 2 weeks. So fill that in. We're going to take a little bit more time and then put it in the offering basket on the way out, okay? You can put those sheets of paper in the basket. Jonathan, just wave your hand over there. So the basket will be right there on your way out. You can just throw those into the basket on your way out, okay? It's not a lot of chance. So for all that you have given and all that you have shared and sacrificed, thank you. Thank you. We're going to join our voices yet again in singing, what are we, soon the day will arrive, I think, right? Yes, soon the day will arrive. I invite you to rise in body and or in spirit, and Catherine will lead us.
reach out beyond. I think there are 30 households online and here in Unity Hall, let us open up our hearts to the world beyond and to ourselves. Wait and see what a world it can be. If we know in our hearts that we are all in this together, if we honor our universalist theology that reminds us of the same every week and indeed every day. Go in peace. Show the world how to love. Return again with great joy. I invite you to be seated for the postlude. Bill, so beautiful. And the image, isn't that image just beautiful that Tammy created? So beautiful. Thank you, Tammy, too. A couple of announcements. If you're new, want to know more, interested, the welcome table is right over here, and there will be someone there to greet you. The collaborative art experience, some of you signed up for, is today in the Nash Room following the service. Jenny Fisher will be leading that. Next Sunday, our guest will be Mark Strickland. I'm so excited. I met with Mark on Friday. He's such an interesting and warm person. He is the vice chair of the Nahantic Native Nation, and he will be our honored guest. Thanks to Platt. There will be a sharing circle for caregivers following the service next week. The new member reunion is on the 19th. If you join the congregation in 2022 or 23, you're welcome and encouraged to come and catch up with each other. There will be refreshments.
And the holiday craft fair, volunteers are needed for the craft fair. There are about 12 craft tables. Each one needs a volunteer. Sandy is in the hallway. She can tell you what each volunteer gig would entail. This has been on hiatus for the past 3 years, and we're hoping to bring it back in some way, shape, or form this year. So stop, and Sandy will stop you if you don't stop. But give it some thought. It's a really lovely day. I think that's everything. I will see you next week, and thank you for being here today.